All right, calculus, here we are. This is your notes video for October the 28th. That is a Thursday, and I am going to be looking at your Chapter 2, Quiz number 2 review. So if you could have that out, that would be great. Pause this video right now. Want to take a look at that, guys. All the due dates have now been updated in Skyward. I will definitely be back on the 1st, but then I have to, I think I got to see my surgeon a few more times, you know, to check how everything's healing and whatnot and progressing. So I will be gone on Tuesday the 9th. So as I learned that, I adjusted a few things. Anyway, take a look in Skyward. So your homework set number 3 still definitely due Monday. Try to print that out and turn in a hard copy to me. That would be great. Thank you for that. All right, so let's take a look here. So now you have plenty of time to look at that quiz review. We should probably say hi to our video sponsors. Cliff Bar, Cool Mints, 12-pack. Aldi's Finest, Live G Free, no gluten. What else we got? What else? We got Noon electrolyte tablets. You can get them on Amazon. Hint, hint, wink, wink, for your favorite math teacher. Come Christmas time. All right, here's number 4. How do we do number 4? This is exactly how I want you to show me your work on your quiz. All right, so the limit as x approaches infinity of the square root of x squared minus 5 over 2x is, it's not exactly, but it's essentially you need to have the is approximately sign. The limit as x goes to infinity of the square root of x squared. That if x is going to negative infinity or to infinity, that negative 5 does not matter. All right, so anything that's not the highest power in the numerator and denominator is dropped. Now, this is exactly this, because the square root of x squared is x. I can't say my answer yet. I have to say, first off, I'm not going to let x go to infinity. I cancel the x's. I have the limit as x goes to infinity of 1/2, which is 1/2. Okay, yes, we do need that final step here. The limit as x goes to infinity of 1/2. Now I'm technically, I know I just said I wasn't going to plug infinity in for x, but I sort of am, but there's no infinity. All right, so I get 1/2. And the reason why I can do this, again, I think it's fine. You know, next year you might have to be precise like this. You know, that's fine. But I think this is a way to do it, because here's what we're going to do. All right, if you, when we first learned about these and revisited the horizontal asymptotes rules, because that's what a limit as x approaches infinity is, horizontal asymptote. You divide by the highest power in the denominator. The highest power in the denominator is x, but when it goes inside the square root, you need to know that the square root of x squared is x. So if I divide by x in the denominator, everything in the numerator, because it's inside the square root, needs to be divided by x squared. Because again, the square root of x squared is actually x. So when I do that, I'm left with 1 minus 5 over x squared in the square root and the numerator all over 2. Now I let x go to infinity, and negative 5 over infinity is 0. All right, so then I'm left with the square root of 1 over 2, which is 1/2. All right, so you can do that. Obviously, this is probably what Slu would want you to see. You can do that. If you can remember that on the quiz or test, that's fantastic. That is probably the best way. I think, though, we'll never get the wrong answer of this. This is also fine, and I think appropriate enough. All right, so let's take a look at number 6. Might have to adjust my foot here. Okay, number 6. I have the limit as x goes to infinity of the square root of x squared plus 4x plus 1 minus x. You can't say infinity minus infinity is 0. Done. No, no, no. Multiply top, and you're like, top and bottom, what? Well, now there is a bottom. Multiply top and bottom by square root of x squared plus 4x plus 1 plus x. The conjugate. When I multiply conjugates, I just need to do the first and last part of FOIL. So x squared plus 4x plus 1 minus x squared. All right? And when that happens, up top, the x squareds will cancel. That leaves me with 4x plus 1 up top. And the conjugate down below. Again, do it the long way. You would divide everything by x. You divide that by x. You divide this by x squared, because it's inside the root. You divide that by x and x. Then you would have 4 plus 1 over x all over basically 1 plus 4 over x plus 1 over x squared plus 1. 4 over 1 plus 1 is 4 over 2, which is 2. All right, but this limit is essentially, it's approximately, we got to use the approximate sign, 4x, we drop the 1 over, again, look inside the root. The term of most importance here is the one with the highest power of x, so it's x squared. So 4x and 1 are dropped. Square root of x squared plus, now some of us in our homework drop the x. Now this x is important because you guys got to know that the square, you got to be looking ahead a little bit. The square root of x squared is x. X and x have the same power to the first, so you got to leave the x there. What is again, it's approximately. This limit is approximately that limit. Okay, so this limit is exactly this limit. The limit as x goes to infinity of 4x over x plus x, which is the limit as x goes to infinity of 4x over 2x, which is the limit as x goes to infinity of 2, which is 2. All right. There we go. So I'm going to do several of these over the next 2 days. Then we'll come together on Monday, talk about what we might want to see. And then in your quizzes in Skyward. Look it up. All right, so I've seen a little bit of an issue with the factoring of different subperfect cubes or semi-perfect cubes. So factor the top, factor the bottom. Again, 0 over 0 is indeterminate. When you factor the bottom, it's x minus 2, you take the cubed root. X squared has to be the opposite sign, because you're missing an x squared and an x term, so you need something to be a different sign there. So it is the opposite sign of the inner product, which is 2 times x. You always square negative 2 to get a positive 4. All right, you got to factor that one correctly. So then what cancels? That pesky x minus 2's got to be the thing that cancels. That's making the denominator 0. All right. And now I can plug 2 in for x. And I do. And I get a third. All right, so practice factoring that. We'll try some more, but we got to get that factoring down because that's a relatively easy one for us, all right? Take a look at 12. The limit of that over x plus 4. So I've got a root. I need to get rid of the root by multiplying by the conjugates of the top. The conjugate is the square root of x squared plus 9 plus 5. Leaving me with the square root. When you multiply those two together, it's x squared plus 9 minus 25. All right. There we go. So at the bottom, we have x plus 4 times the conjugate. We know to leave the conjugate right there. Don't distribute it because something's going to happen. That x plus 4 has to be canceled. So 9 at minus 25 gives me this. Okay, it's still not canceled yet because x squared minus 16 needs to be factored. X squared minus 16 is x plus 4, x minus 4. Again, notice how I keep writing the limit as x goes to negative 4. You got to keep writing the limit as x goes to negative 4 until you finally plug negative 4 in for x. X plus 4 over x plus 4 cancels, leaving me with the limit as x goes to negative 4 of x minus 4 over that conjugate. Now I plug negative 4 in for x. Negative 4 squared plus 9 is going to give me the square root of 25, which is 5. Negative 4/5 is my answer. So that is a good one for your quiz review. All right, so there'll be a few more that I want to do with you on Monday. We'll tackle some that maybe had some issues in your homework set the next few days. All right, the limit as x goes to 1 of x to the 4th minus 1 over x to the 3rd plus 5x squared minus 6x. This one did have a little bit of an issue on your last homework set. So x to the 4th minus 1 is x squared minus 1, x squared plus 1. Then all I did was factor out the x that the bottom had, all three terms in the bottom have in common. Now I'm going to factor x squared minus 1, which is x plus 1, x minus 1. Then I'm going to factor x squared plus 5x minus 6. Be careful, it's a positive 6 minus 1. All right? Because you have to have an x minus 1. That's what's making the denominator 0. Now I cancel. The limit is x goes to 1 of x plus 1 over x squared plus 1, or times x squared plus 1 over x times x plus 6. Plug 1 in for x. Four sevenths. All right. For that one, that's a good question. Then we've got, what do we got? This is page 15, the intermediate value theorem. So this should be very easy. The intermediate value theorem says, basically, if you know that there's a 0, a root, a solution of the equation in between those two, if your y values cross that border there when x is equal, when y is equal to 0. All right, so if one y value is -3 and then the other one's 5, you cross 0. From negative 3 to 5, you had to cross 0. If one's 6 and the other's -4, you know in between 6 and -4, in between those two x values, you cross 0. I'm not looking for we don't particularly care where the exact solution is. You don't have to tell me, oh, the exact solution is 1.78. No. Just got to show this. So plug 1 and make sure it's set equal to 0. Again, you're looking for a root. We always found roots in college algebra when the polynomial was set equal to 0, or the equation when we see e to the x was set equal to 0. So plug 1 in for x and you get a -2. So you're at 1, -2. 1, -2 is in the 4th quadrant. Then you plug 2 in for x and you get 25. 225 is in the 1st quadrant. When you go from the 4th to the 1st quadrant, you've definitely crossed the x-axis. Okay, so all you got to say, and you got to get these two right. I mean, that's very important that you get the same y, get the exact y values. So you cross the 0. That's all you got to tell me. All right, here's 16. Find an equation of the tangent line to the curve. F of x is 2 over 1 minus 3x at x is 0. All right, so you're using this formula. You're going to have this down. You're going to have a lot of, that's where the emphasis is. This chapter is on limits, like we just did, algebraically, a few graphs, and, the equation of the tangent line. Derivatives as a whole, that's more of a focus for chapter 3. Okay, you are finding a derivative, the instantaneous rate of change, but using limit definitions. So this is the big one right here, the equation of the tangent line. This is what we really focus on, that and limits. All right, so you have to have this formula memorized. Again, it's a slope formula, y minus y over x minus x. So f of x minus f of a. Well, if x is 0, plug 0 in for x, your y value is 2. All right, so here's what I did. X minus 0 is just x. I need to subtract these two, so I need to multiply 2 over 1 now by 1 minus 3x over 1 minus 3x. That's going to give me a common denominator of 1 minus 3x. And what you're going to have is the 2's are going to cancel. 2 minus 2, done. But then you can think of it this way. You're subtracting a negative 6x, or a negative times a negative is a positive and gives you 6x. You subtract a negative 6x, that's also a positive 6x. So here's what I'm left with. All right, now this is technically x over 1. So the x's are going to cancel, leaving you with that. And now I can plug 0 in for x, so my slope is 6. Notice how I wrote the limit as x goes to 0 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay, not 2 times, not at the beginning and then at the end. 4 times, every single step. I will be looking for that. Please, please, please. You've heard it, you know it, every single step. So it's y minus the y value is equal to the slope times x minus the x value. Point slope form is fine. Even if you have a minus 0 and it looks goofy, that's fine. Okay, that's good how I wrote it like that. And lastly, on this, review part 1. Now I did make a mistake on one of these, and I addressed it in Friday's video. But let's actually see. Oh no, it's like coming up. Never mind. It's 17D. All right, so the equation of the tangent line, y is equal to 5x minus 4x squared at 2, negative 6. Find the equation of the tangent line. So the slope is equal to the limit. Now you don't have to write slope. You don't have to write m one time. You don't have to keep writing m equals the limit as x goes to 2. But I do need to see limit as x goes to 2 on there, and we finally plug it in. Of f of x minus f of a is a negative 6 all over x minus a. There you go. Upside down parabola. I'm going to factor out the negative 1. Okay. You know that x minus 2 is a factor. Okay. So you know that x minus 2 is a factor. So you might as well put x minus 2. And then if you're looking, remember you had a positive 4x squared. So 4x times x gives you 4x squared. Negative 2 times a positive 3 gives you negative 6. If you want to check it, go ahead. That's a negative 8x plus 3x is a negative 5x. It's been factored. Okay? X minus 2's cancel. Now you have the limit as x approaches 2 of the opposite of 4x plus 3. So plug 2 in for x. Slope's a negative 11. Y plus 6 this time is equal to a negative 11 times x minus 2. All right, so we're going to see who's paying good attention and actually watching these videos here. Because on 17D, hey, buddy, you've been warned. All right, I'd like to not put you in the bathroom today. You have been warned. I tell you, I think I overestimated the genius level of Yogi. So we have y is equal to 2x cubed plus 5x squared minus 7 at negative 1, negative 4. You need to change that. I must have thought of it as a just regular 5x, not 5x squared. I might have boo-boo. Because if you don't change it, you'll notice that x plus 1 is not a factor. Synthetic division doesn't work. So that's how you can tell if I made a mistake, or most likely these will be very well checked for your quizzes and exams, don't have to worry. But yeah, I made a boo-boo, so it needs to go to negative 4. Negative 1, negative 4. So the slope is equal to the limit as x goes to negative 1 of 2x to the third plus 5x squared minus 7, that's f of x, minus a negative 4. That's f of a. All over x minus a negative 1. All right, again, this is a minus 3. This is a minus 3. Now, got to do synthetic division. Again, please don't guess factoring, just do synthetic division. All right, set this equal to 0. X plus 1 is it a factor? That means x equals negative 1 is the solution. 2x to the third. 5x squared is 0x and a negative 3. A negative 3. Negative 1's in the cubby, bring down the 2. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2, add them up. Negative 1 times 3 is a negative 3, add them up. Negative 1 times a negative 3 is 3, and you get 0. So, now, that is the work. That is the work. You've shown this to me. So now you have the limit as x goes to negative 1. Yes, you have to have that. Some of you didn't have that last step on your homework. Got to have that there. And now we're going to plug negative 1 in for x, and my slope's a negative 4. And that's my answer. Y plus 4 is equal to -4 times x plus 1. And folks, we just got one more video left, and I might see you actually on Friday. I'm going to pop in and drop off a lot of stuff to make my Monday journey easier. I got to test how it is, what it's like driving and getting in and out of car on my own with my little scooter. So I do plan on popping in Friday during your second hour. If you guys start at 9:36, so gonna try to make that happen. So it'll be nice seeing you. Good job watching videos. Got a nice note from the Hall of Famer, Mr. Beeson himself. You guys are doing well. Do the same with Coach K. In fact, pause this video, say, Mr. Yak says hi, Coach K. Feel bad I didn't do that for Mr. Beeson or Mrs. Lavoy. Send them my love as well. You'll probably see them again this year with various follow-ups I will have. All right. Anyway, this is Yak Math Videos, signing out.